Welcome to the Jockey Club, a podcast looking at the movie Let It Ride, one scene at a time. My name is Dan Delgado, and we're at historic Hialeah Park where one man is having the best day of his life.
I'm having a good day.
So come on in and hang out while we talk about this day and the greatest movie of all time, Let It Ride. Don't worry about that guy at the door. I've got you covered. You can even
take my seat to the Jockey Club.
Welcome back to the Jockey Club. My name is Dan Delgado. We are up to episode 19, which means that we are doing the 19th scene of Let It Ride, and really, it's the 19th scene according to me. This is the scene where Trotter returns to Marty's bar looking for Looney. And if you're playing along at home, this is from minute 49:36 to minute 50:09. Joining me at my usual table is Eric Delgado, my usual guest, a gambler, and yes, the person I saw Let It Ride with a lifetime ago. So now, let's head on up to the Jockey Club to discuss this 19th scene of Let It Ride. All right, so we have just come from where Trotter, in the previous scene at the Jockey Club, hears from Lufkin how Looney owes a lot of money. Over $800 that guy owes. He bet a nickel on the Packers.
Yep, exactly. Bet a nickel.
And do you know the score of that game?
75-10. Lost 75-10.
They lost 75-10. Okay, so
Yeah.
Trotter very non-discreetly says,
I love it that it's 75 too. Start figuring that number. How'd they get that? So awesome.
Okay, so very not discreetly gets up and leaves immediately. I don't know where Mr. Looney is, and then I'm sure I haven't seen him. And then gets up,
Right.
and I'm sure everyone in the room figures, oh, he must know where he is. He's going to warn him, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So now we're going back to Marty's
It's so
bar,
lowbrow.
and when we go back to Marty's bar, I think this scene is sort of the Evangeline scene, right? This is the only real scene Cynthia Nixon gets to do anything in this movie.
She's got the most here. Yes.
Right? Trotter goes back, he's looking for Looney, and Evangeline is sitting at the bar with Sid, who's very quiet. Sid,
Yes,
who is
sullen.
Yeah, Sid is sullen. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And she is pretty mad about losing that last race and just kind of raging in the... I don't know. How would you describe the frustration and raging going on from Evangeline here?
Well, I can tell you she's really cheesed off, which is the first time I think I've ever heard that. And then I tried to start using it. But yes, she is the... I mean, you know what's great about... Okay, here's what's really cool, I guess, about this, is that when she first comes in, if you're really following their arc with Sid and Evangeline...
Please do.
She's obviously new to the whole scene.
Yes.
And he is... You know, if you're Sid, right, from Sid's point of view... It doesn't make a lot of sense from anybody else's point of view, but from Sid's, it's like, yeah, I want you to come in and meet the guys.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says. Come meet the guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And these are the guys that I want you to meet. Okay?
Yeah.
This is the problem, right? Is that it's these guys. They're all like offensive in some way. Mm-hmm. The whole situation would be offensive to someone as pristine as Evangeline. Mm-hmm. So if you're Sid, right, you're hoping that at some point she buys in and is like, yeah, I dig this. Let's do this. I get how this works. I'm emotionally invested, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. That's the hope every time you introduce somebody new to some kind of a thing. And so we're, of course, all thinking at, you know, when he checks her driver's license, you know, I can't believe she's 19.
I got a dog 19.
I mean, there's like no way that this girl is going to connect, right? And so you kind of we've given up on that fact. We're not even following that. We're following the whole Looney situation. We just got over the Lord Byron situation.
Yes.
And now we just get a little glimpse of them, and you see that what Sid would have hoped for, obviously there's two ways to go, but still what he would have hoped for has happened, where she's like, I'm in this thing now, to the point where I'm even going to go and get more of my bank money.
That's right, yes. I've got a good mind to go to the bank. I may pull out some savings and come back.
Right.
As though this is some solid plan to recover your losses, Evangeline, is to go to the bank and come back. But she says it with such conviction and such innocence that this is how I will fix this problem. I will get more money and throw it into the hole, and then my money will then my original money that I've lost will return to me.
It's the worst idea you could have.
Oh, yeah.
And yet, if you're trying to bring her into the world, you've done it.
Yeah.
You've pulled it off, right? She's gone from sitting all prim and proper, right? Mm-hmm. She's got like her arms draped over the bar,
Yeah.
She's all in there. She's not worried about the grime and the muck in the place. She's, and she's speaking candidly. This is exactly like if you have a dream of having, obviously they're new to each other, right? But let's say this was your wife. Look, Jay seems to have never pulled this off. Right?
Perhaps.
Okay, so maybe way back in the day,
right?
Maybe she came to her senses, but
right. It's true. It's entirely possible that Pam started out this way, and then once she realized, oh wait, all he does is lose. Man. We are talking about Evangeline, and basically, I guess what we would call this is her descent into gambling madness. And that she's probably on what you would refer to, and I mean you specifically, as tilt. Is she on tilt?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right. And it's the worst thing, especially early on. Like I've always said, the worst thing that can happen to you is that you can win too much or you can lose too much. Mm-hmm. The best thing that can happen is that you just sort of, peter along and, you get out a little bit up or down and you're like, yeah, that was a thing. There's no big draw to get you back.
Right.
Because it wasn't like, unless you just love the action of it, then the money has no real relevance to you. So she's in that boat of like she's always going to be chasing to get revenge.
Yeah.
She's going to go back for that, and she's probably going to lose, and then all of a sudden now I got to get $600 back or whatever it is. And, of course, in that crowd, they're going to welcome that. Come on in, let's take a seat, Angie, Angie or whatever. And for Sid, Sid's such a funny character because he's obviously trying to project whether or not it's real, because, he's hanging out with these guys. So is he trying to project that he's more successful than he is?
I think so. I think because if you look at how he dresses, and I don't know if he's just dressed up for her, but also how he has his hair styled in a particularly awful way, right?
Yes.
Like it's all flat on his head. And so I think maybe this is how he dresses, and this is what he thinks looks cool. And so he is trying to, because he's probably constantly projecting that he's some sort of a big shot and that he's sort of a player. That's kind of what Sid is. From, the small bits that we get with him, this is what I kind of get out of that guy.
Totally agree. And so if that's the case, then he's trying, with her to get her to see that, this is a real going concern. Let's be these people, And now he's got her a little bit in the wrong way, but she's definitely going to want to come back.
Yeah. He doesn't seem too happy about it, and I don't know if he's sullen over losing, and because he thought he was gonna.
I know.
He had all his moves that he had planned out in his brain before they got there, or is he a little sullen because of now how depraved Evangeline has become, or is it both these things? I don't know.
Yeah, he who knew that was inside of her.
Exactly. Right. Yes. Right.
Yeah. It'd be nice if she were more just like an accessory. She's just gonna come play like Jennifer Tilly.
Yes. Yeah.
That'd be more like what you want for Sid. Instead, she's gonna be the one like, I'll drive. You might have started At noon. Yeah.
So the other things that happen in this scene, Trotter is looking for Looney, and then her interaction with Trotter is funny because she feels the need to tell him, Looney said you're a real jerk.
Right.
Yeah, and Looney said you turned on your friends. So harsh.
Oh, it is. When it's coming out of her,
Yeah.
that's what's great about that, is that they make it her, so it's that much more vicious. You know everybody else is talking about it because she picked up on it. And then it's this whole next few minutes is the hardest part for me of the movie. Like, I wouldn't change it, but it's very difficult, the whole thing. The great part is coming up is is we find out exactly what has happened to Evangeline, because at this point all we know is that it's gone badly.
That's right. That is correct.
Right?
That is correct.
Right.
So before we get there, real quick, Marty says, "Yeah, Lufkin was in here earlier looking for Looney," and then he left his number, and it's carved in the bar.
It's so funny. It's so freaking funny that it's carved in the bar, and it looks all ragged and nasty.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it's such a brilliant little pick a thing.
It's such a hilarious joke, and also Marty, who points out here's the number, is really just like, yeah, here it is. He's not like, hey, this guy carved up my damn bar.
Exactly. He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care at all. It's just like, oh yeah, here's the note for you.
I know. That's too funny.
Yeah.
That Marty's just so casual about it. Yeah, then you find out. Go ahead. Then what happens?
Oh, okay. Well, then we find. Well, first of all, we do find out where Looney is. He went. Sid tells him he went to give blood. Evangeline immediately. Why don't we give blood? Like, what a genius idea this is. Here's a good way to get money to spend it at the track. Why don't we give blood? Poor baby. But then also, we do find out that she's upset because that jockey fell off that damn horse.
That damn horse.
Oh, my God. She bet on Lord Byron.
First of all, it's such a great surprise.
It is.
Right?
It is.
That we get the Lord Byron callback.
Yes.
But it also lines up because probably before this, you could see Evangeline not wanting to bet on anything that was too risky.
Mm-hmm.
So betting the favorite, makes sense.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so I'm sure even Sid told her, we'll bet him across the book. Because don't forget, he's the guy that knows his exotics.
Yes.
He knows them. He comes in saying the number 2 horse is Immortal Luck, and I'm going to wheel him.
Yes.
So if you don't know, it's a great, whatever it is, if you don't know what's going on, that's just a great line, the way he delivers it. But then if you even know what it is, it's even better. So he's a guy that's going to tell her, let's bet him across the board, because, if we bet $50, we're probably going to get back 75, and that's going to be just fine. And so the only way this could go bad, he's got to come in first, second, or third, right? So that makes perfect sense that the outrage would happen, because the only way he's not going to do that is if he falls off the horse or if lightning strikes him in the starting gate. So that rage is very appropriate.
Have you had an experience like this in your betting resume? Do you have?
Let's see.
Do you have a highlight player who got hit on the head?
That has happened. And it was a player I bet, and you know who it is. His name was Aracha.
Oh, yeah, sure. I remember.
Do you remember Aracha?
I do remember Aracha. He was good.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah.
He just happened to be, when we were there, like those first couple of seasons, he won the Campeonato.
Okay.
So, this wasn't even something that I was even paying attention to that early on. But, that first season where it was, it's like analytics versus optics.
Okay.
He seemed like the best player to it. He was so great. Well, he was. He statistically was the best player as well.
Yeah.
So in this particular play, I've got him, I'm sure I got him in a couple of trifectas, I probably betting $50, $60, something like that. And he jumps up to catch the serve, and it just goes wrong, and it hits him right in the face.
Ow.
And Yeah, let me tell you, I was literally, this won't surprise you, I'm at the front, I'm at the, like, right up against the fence.
Right.
I'm crying. I was crying because he didn't get up.
Oh, okay.
He's
Now,
unconscious.
we should clarify that this is not because you've lost your bet.
Right.
Okay.
No, this is not because I lost my bet.
Okay.
No.
I just want to make
No,
that clear. Okay.
Yes. No, when he goes down, and you know, I see him go down just like, you know,
Yeah.
He's got the cesta up, and it just misses. Like, the angle is wrong, and it just hits him right in the, like, bam, right?
Yeah.
He goes straight down,
Yeah.
doesn't move, right? And so I think I've seen him die, you know? So anyway, yeah, that wasn't really what I meant to tell you. But still, that would be a situation where, of course, he was then disqualified. And then I said, wait a minute, he's alive and I lose? That son of a bitch.
Have you ever thought about donating blood to go back to the track, to the Highlight Fronton?
Dude.
To anything?
Dude.
What?
You know better about this.
What?
So look, this is why I was gonna say this scene is like this whole this whole next 5 minutes is just really difficult.
That's right. Eric is very squeamish around needles. Eric would never donate blood. So
No. Donate?
Yeah, no.
Good luck.
You're gonna
can't
have
even get it out
to
of
rip.
me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come after him to get it.
Yeah, I'd rather you cut me open.
Yeah.
I'd rather you take a bullet and use that to get it out than to come with that little tiny needle. So it ends with
she's upset about that jockey falling off the horse, and Trotter leaves, and he's off to go find Looney, and you know, which he'll find him in.
How it ends.
He'll find him in the next scene, and I think the real thing that we learned from this scene, and in particular, what I mean is from this particular podcast that you and I have recorded, is that you have a problem with the next scene over the needle, and I didn't think. That. Yeah. Like I thought it was some sort of emotional thing that you were referring to earlier, but no, it's just your needle squeamishness.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. No, it's twofold. All right. So this is the scene where Looney really lays it out that I'm pissed at you. You've screwed. Okay, you've just gaslit us with Evangeline, right? Mm-hmm. And now he goes in there and he doubles down on it. And Jay even says to him, he gives him the great argument. Wait a minute. We had the same, what are you talking about? And when he lays it out, he just ignores what he said. He doesn't respond to like, well, yeah, that's not how I feel. Or, you know, you're right. He doesn't do anything like that. He just keeps talking. And that really pisses me off. I mean, like, legit pisses me off because he's 100% wrong.
Yes.
Right? And we've gone into why he feels this way and all that and, you know, his justification, etc. But what he does to Jay right there is
terrible.
Awful.
It is terrible.
Right?
It is terrible. And yes.
Then Jay, this is where I'm pissed at Jay. He shows some compassion anyway for his friend. We see that. You know, my friend's in there. Instead of the usual 10, tell him it's worth 20. He's walking around with how much money at this point?
$2,900.
Okay.
I think.
He wants to give him because this is after he
he hasn't made that bet yet.
Right. He's about to make the next big one, right? So he's got a big wad for him, you know, for his day, and he only wants to give him $10 more. So I'm like, This is your gesture. This is your charitable maneuver. Is $10, and then when he finds out that it's worth $75, he plucks the 10 back, which is hilarious, right?
Yes, he does.
But again, it's like that's some chintzy stuff there, Jay. Like, so there's a lot of stuff I don't like going on in this whole.
I understand, but to defend Jay for a second here, he just came out of that horrible conversation that he had with Looney, and so. Maybe that's putting a limit on Jay's generosity at the moment.
Okay, I give you that. I totally look. Looney is 10 times more the villain, without a doubt. What he did to Jay is really awful, and then the fact that he's sitting there giving blood. The whole thing's so bad, and he's smoking.
Oh yeah, he's got. I love it. He's got a cigarette, and he's got the racing form in the other hand.
Right. Yeah, like this is part of his day.
It's all-star degeneracy right there. It is. It's Hall of Fame level.
Right. And thank goodness. And now you start to think, if you really want to get it, like they talk about like casinos, right? That it breeds, in the neighborhood, like all of a sudden you start seeing the pawn shops, like it breeds the lower element, right? Because like a casino, look, it's beautiful. All right, and so the argument against is, yeah, but you don't know what comes next, okay? The casino's great, but what now you're going to start to get is the bail bondsman and the pawn shops and the, hawk your car, it's all going to be here. That's the element we're trying to keep out.
Yeah.
And you never see that at the casino. You see it out on the strip, right? Is what they say. Okay, so it makes me think, look how close the blood bank is to the track.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And I thought, is this strategic by the blood bank? Because that is funky as hell, right? If that's the case. Because it sure doesn't look like they're disturbing Looney's comfort level in there. Like they're very, come on in, Looney. Like how many other Loonies are sitting there in the stalls giving blood?
That's hysterical, dude.
Oh my gosh.
That's perfect.
Right?
That's perfect.
So bad. It's so bad. All right, so one more observation.
Okay, real quick.
I don't know if I'm doing this episode. Is that, okay, again, we think that the going rate for giving blood is $10, according to Jay, right? He says instead of the usual 10,
tell
him it's worth 20.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I figure. Knowing, being a working man at the time, that's about, for the average laborer, that's like 2 hours. Giving you $10, average guy's making $5-6 an hour, right? Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to give that guy $10. Mm-hmm. And what we're saying is 2 hours of labor versus 10% of your blood is the same. That's what the blood bank's going rate is. Yeah, 2 hours work at McDonald's or 10% of your blood supply. Now, what's up with that? How are they even getting anybody in there?
I don't know. Maybe that's just a blood
at the time.
Maybe that's just a blood bank that's next to the track that's selling. That's going that low. Right. It's like
cheapo blood bank.
Like we can lower the rates over here. And this one, we're right next to the track. We can lower the rates.
You're right. Because when you're going in there to hawk your car at the one right next to the casino, you don't get the good rate.
Nah, that's right.
You get screwed on your deal.
Here you go, desperate guy. You'll take this or you'll walk. That's right.
Exactly. Right. That's probably exactly right. Because I remember being shocked at the $10. Even then, I was like, "Ooh,
it's low. It's really low. It's really low." Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do with that?
I don't know.
I mean,
and then he implies that you can do it twice a week. I don't know if that's probably right.
It doesn't feel like that's right though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know the blood supply replaces itself in 24 hours, but I don't know that you could just go.
Could you actually come in twice a week?
I don't think you could.
I know there's a thing where these people have this rare plasma.
Yeah.
And you can do it twice a month, and it's like a gold mine. And there are people that like make a living off this legitimately. Like it's something like they get like $2,000 a pop, and they do it like twice a month.
No kidding.
Yeah, I can't remember how long ago I found this out, but it's incredibly rare. And it's not only that they'll do it, but like like we need it. And this stuff that these people make is so rare. How
quickly did you check to see if you had it?
Oh, I didn't, honestly. Yeah, right. Maybe I could. But no, from what I understand, oh, God, I don't even want to talk about it. But apparently, if you do it often enough, like, you get like a permanent hole. So, yeah, the thought of this, I got to go.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Jockey Club. This episode was hosted and produced by me, Dan Delgado. Thank you to my guest, Eric Delgado. Our theme music is from Epidemic Sound. Our cover art is by Sean Labrie. If you enjoyed this episode, and indeed, I hope that you did, you can help the show out by buying me a coffee. This is a real thing. There will be a link on how to do it in the show notes, in the show description, right there on your phone. You can just slide, and then there's all the show notes with the description. There's going to be links in there. One of them will be how to buy me a coffee. There will also be another link if you want to get some show merch. That's a possibility. Now, if you say, Dan, look, I'm saving up all of my pennies to have a big, great day myself at the track, well, this is something that I certainly understand. So instead, you can go ahead and leave me a free 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you may be listening to this. If you want to contact me, you can. Send me an email, gosh darn it. It's dan@moviemaker.com. I am constantly on Twitter at _Dan_Delgado, or even better, I'm on the Repod app, which is a great way to not only to just listen to podcasts, but to interact with podcast hosts like myself. You can find it in your app store. Come on by and say hello. This has been Dan Delgado for the Jockey Club. And remember, sometimes you could be walking around lucky and not even know it.